Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I thought it would be interesting to share my testimony because honestly this isn't something that I have shared very much, and I've thought about it ever since I did a video. I think I called it the word of my testimony, but that was more talking about this verse in Revelation rather than actually sharing my testimony. So I don't know if that could be interesting to do that today. It's really hard to pinpoint and nail down your testimony because I think that your entire life after you choose to follow Jesus is a testimony. Every single moment, every single choice, every single lesson that he's teaching you is, sorry I got distracted because Gabriel was making food in there. I love you. Every single lesson that you're learning is part of your testimony, and it all adds up, all comes together. And I don't know, I feel like there are multiple different lessons in my life that I would call my testimony, or what I feel like is the focal point of what God is teaching me throughout the course of my life. I feel like there are a couple big things that it can come down to. So not to say that I think that testimony is a one and done thing and it's your salvation moment and it has to be super epic and interesting and able to bring a lot of other people to Jesus. Your entire life is your testimony. It's all a chance to glorify God, and there are going to be different portions of it that are going to be your testimony of what God has done for you. It's not just the moment that you came to know him, and that has big pressure for that to be super perfect and super cool. And if it's not, well, I guess your story can't be used by God, and you leave it to the people who were drug addicts and came to Jesus. Oh, that's it. Anyway, but this is kind of the story of what brought me to God. I remember being saved when I was 6. I remember Dad talking to me about it. I remember sitting on the stairs and praying with him, and it was this whole ordeal. I was so shy. He wanted me to pray, and I was like, I don't want to pray to accept you. He was like, I don't want to say it out loud in front of you because you'll judge me. And I don't know what to say. I haven't been a Christian. I don't know what are the right phrases. I don't know how to do it right. I remember asking him, can't you just tell me what to say? And he's like, no, you need to pray this. And I remember crying about it, begging for so long. Finally, he was like, okay, I'll tell you what to say. You can just repeat after me. I mumbled it out loud. I was like, all right, there you go. Now you're saved. The next step for me was getting baptized, which I did about a year later because that was when my sister was getting baptized at our annual church retreat. And I was like, well, if I don't do it with her, I'll have to do it by myself some later year, so I might as well just do it now. And that was kind of when I got baptized and saved. But I feel like when I really started following God and really caring about being a Christian was more when I was probably about 14. So it would have been March 2018. Somewhere time frame. So leading up to that though, I had struggled with my weight for several years, was very ashamed of that, very insecure, just felt very unlovely. I also dealt with a lot of insecurity in relationships and friendships, and just felt like no one could love me because I wasn't beautiful. That must be the determining factor of why I didn't fit in. It's probably just the way that I looked, because I was overweight, and that was why I didn't have a place with these other girls. That was why they were closer and all, cool and cute and fashionable, and I was on the outside and wasn't really able to enter into that. I feel like that was probably what was setting me apart. That was probably what kept me from getting the guy that I liked and why he liked my sister instead. It's probably because she was slender and pretty, and I did not feel like I was like that. And so I remember doing different diets and trying to exercise and not really having much motivation. Just putting in all of this effort to be beautiful. And I felt like that was what would earn me people's attention and would let me fit in, make me stop feeling like so much of an outsider and so much like I stood out. And what would make me happy, because people would like me. I would have friends if I was attractive by worldly standards. So I remember putting in effort. Started when I was 8. And it ate my life up for 3 or 4 years. I remember there was a time in between where I was like, this really isn't doing anything. I'm not seeing any change, not seeing any progress. So I quit. I was like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And definitely gained a lot more weight, definitely became a lot more insecure. So I remember eventually, coming back. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it this time. It's going to work. And became so obsessive, just super controlling over what I ate, obsessive about weighing myself all of the time, all of my joy was just sucked away by that. It just became the biggest thing in my life, and I was so sure that this was what was going to make me happy and solve all of my problems. And this was the big thing that I was working towards, and my big goal for myself, what I would pray about the most, what I thought about way the most and cared about the most. And I just remember one day when I was about 14 realizing I know I'm supposed to want God more than anything else, but I feel like right now, if he gave me the choice of having a relationship with him or being slender and beautiful and thus earning people's affection, I would pick being pretty. That's not right. Something's off in my heart there. Like, I know that that's not the balance that should be there, but honestly, that's what I want. This is the biggest thing. This is what I would give my life over to. This is my idol for sure. And as much as I didn't feel like I wanted a relationship with God, as much as I didn't feel like he was worth it or would give me the things that I wanted, like, it was so tangible to feel like I would just want to be pretty, I want to fit in, I want people to like me. And I was like, what do I get from caring about God? I don't know. But I just knew that he needed to be more important than anything else. I needed to want him more than anything else. And I needed to give up this idol if that was what it took, and trust God that a relationship with him would be better, even though I had absolutely no concept or experience of that being good. Like the verses like taste and see that the Lord is good. I hadn't tasted yet, I hadn't seen. It was just accepting that on faith that like I know this is better. People have said that. This is what I believe. This is what has been drilled into me from birth. Like, I know God is better than anything else that I have experienced. I have all of this desire for this other thing that seems so much better, but I know I have to give that up if I want God. And so I remember crying a lot about that, praying a lot about that, and deciding to give that up. I was like, okay, I'm not going to obsess over this anymore. Like, this is not going to be the thing that controls me. What drives me and controls me is going to be a desire for God, and I'm going to pursue him with as much energy as I have pursued myself, and trying to be beautiful and trying to earn people and friends. I think that was the day that I really became a Christian and really started following God, acting on my faith, trying to understand what it meant to have a relationship with him, trying to experience him being better than worldly things and what I desired. I think it's so beautiful to remember that testimony, because now there's so many times where I just realize that really has become the center point of my life and what my relationship with him is all about. Like, why I live the way that I do, why I care about the things that I do, is because I want him more than anything else, and I want to want him more than I want anything else. So either I'm pursuing him or I'm crying out to him, being like, God, I feel so empty, change my heart because I don't want you, but I need to want you. I need you. I know I need that desire and that passion. And so crying out to him and putting in effort until that changes and I do want him again. And it's so funny how specifically that prayer from years ago has been answered, because that really is the focus of my relationship with him. That really is the center point of my testimony, is that I want God more than anything else. Like, he's so much better. And I have tasted and seen that now. There has been all of this experience to back up that moment of faith. And he's proven himself to be so much more than I ever thought or ever expected. And he clearly is so much better. And I'm so grateful for how he's changed my heart and how he is teaching me that he's better, and how he does respond to my desire for him and my desire to desire him. He's so gracious and so loving and so good. And I hope that my whole life really is the story and this proclamation that Jesus is better than anything else. Thank you for watching, and goodbye until more interesting things happen.